Hey, hello everyone. I'm Nal Luthra, your robotics mentor, and you're watching Coding Vlogs Junior. Today we are going to talk about radar, how to make a radar, what is a radar first of all, and how are we are planning to make a radar, and what are things which are required to make a radar. Okay, so today's topic is radar. Okay, so many might who were confused why we didn't have class yesterday. I was not feeling good, so we canceled the class yesterday. Again, that's all. So yes, Alexa is also fine. So let's have a drum roll and then start with today's lecture. Alexa, drum roll, please.
Okay.
Cool. So, what is a radar? So, Raven Lanka has made a radar. Congratulations, Raven. You did made a radar. But we are going to make a better radar. I promise you that. You might have just Googled it how to make a radar and things like that, but we are going to make a much better radar. Okay, so what exactly is a radar? First, let's understand that. I'm good. Those who are asking how I am, I'm good now. I'm absolutely fine. I'm absolutely fine. So let's call it a day. Okay. So question is, what is radar and where radars are actually used? Okay. So radars are used in many different areas. So let's say you're flying a jet. Okay. So let's make a jet altogether. Okay. So radars are also used in jet. Okay, or they can use in airplanes. Okay, they are also used in ships. Okay, so what is the basic idea behind the radar? So radar is basically a technology which is utilized to find if anyone is near a particular given radius. Okay, so those who are not aware what radius is just for a circle. So for example, we have a circle. Okay, so this is our radius. Right? Everyone might be aware of what radius is. So when we need to find out if, for example, we are in an area, for example, this is the area where there is a station or whatever things you want to build. So we are here, right? So we need to find out if what are possible areas. For example, let's say I need to find out how many people are there in this area, if it's there or not. So there are multiple areas, multiple zones in India where there's a no flying zone, where no aircraft or drones cannot be they cannot take a flight over there. Let's say. So how we do find out? We use it using radar. So what radar does is, so it keeps on searching for a thing simultaneously. Okay, so it just keeps on moving. So let's take a bit in a different scenario. Let's take in a bit different scenario. Let's understand it from the below. Let's say we have a sensor. Okay, so we do have our what do you call it? Ultrasonic sensor, right? So everyone might have worked with ultrasonic sensor. I'm hoping they have. If you have not, just watch this video later on. Go back to the previous video where I've actually discussed about ultrasonic sensor. You can watch that video as well. So for example, we have an ultrasonic sensor. Okay, so this ultrasonic sensor senses something which have only this amount of view. Okay, so for example, I have eyes, right? So my eyes have a viewpoint of this. I cannot see anything beyond this. If you want to know your view area, so just put your hands like this. Up till you can see your hands, it's fine. Now I can see your hands. Okay, so this is my viewpoint. So now you can find the angle between it if you want to. This is going to be a viewpoint. Okay, so for example, I have my ultrasonic sensor with me. So they have a particular viewpoint when they start releasing waves. So they have a fixed area of viewpoint, I would say. So that's really important. You need to understand what exactly viewpoint is. Viewpoint is basically an area which when we talk about to watch something. So as we can see over here, ultrasonic sensor do have a fixed viewpoint. So the radar we are planning to build is using two components. One is our ultrasonic sensor, and second is our servo motor. Okay, so we are using servo and ultrasonic sensor. So the radars which has been used in army, military, or defense areas, or where there are high securities, also work in kind of a similar way. So they are made something like this, I would say. Okay, so this is how they are built. They have a dish type of a thing, and they rotate like this below. Okay, so they send rays over there, and when they find something, so for example, they keeps on rotating if you're gonna find something. That's how they work towards. So for example, if I'm looking, if I'm looking at this area right now, keeps on moving and find something or the other. So radar works on technology like this. So for example, I am put at particular this position, so I keep on moving and searching for it. Okay, so there's also a way to actually bypass the radar. Some aeroplanes are developed in such a manner which can actually bypass the radar. How they happen to do so is they fly above the line of sight of radars. So radar also have a fixed range up till where they can see. As we have already seen in the case of ultrasonic sensor, that after a particular set of area, I would say about like this area, ultrasonic sensor stop detection. Similarly, those what do you call it? Let's say those different sensors or those different machines used by army or military also stop detecting the things after a particular set of range, right? So that's how you bypass them, or maybe you're moving too fast, the way radar can actually detect you. So for example, let's think it like this. We send a waves, okay, we send rays, and this is our aeroplane. So this is my aeroplane. Okay, so let's say this is my aeroplane and I'm sending the rays. Chetan, we will talk about that. So don't worry, we'll talk about that. So for example, this is my aeroplane and it's moving. So for example, my rays are coming. So it detects the aeroplane right now. But up until it sends back the information to the controller that, okay, I found an aeroplane, the aeroplane moves a couple of more degrees, a couple of more kilometers. So the faster you move, the more difficult it's become for the radar to actually detect you. So we are not going into the specifics of how to actually make an aeroplane which can bypass the radar, though we can discuss that sometime or other. So the idea is that we are making a radar today, and radar have its own limitations. Okay, so we are not talking about making a army kind of radar, but we are making a radar and we are having some of its own limitations, and we will acknowledge that as well. One. Second thing is we're talking about how planning to use servo to build a radar, right? So to use a servo to build a radar, you need to understand that the servo we are using rotates only 180 degrees. So we can have a viewpoint of just this. Okay, so we have that, like this is the only viewpoint we got. So we are not moving forward to 360 degree. That's something you need to understand. But if you want to move forward to 360 degree, you can do that. That's not a difficult thing. So the question is how you will do that. It's kind of a simple. So in that case, if you really want to go, okay, no, I want to make a 360 degree radar, you can do it. It's kind of a simple. So for example, this is my servo. Okay, this is my servo number 1. So let's make it like this. Okay, so this is my servo 1. And this is where I got my ultrasonic sensor fixed. Okay, below this, I can have another servo. Okay, like this. So this servo will give you a view of 180, and again this servo over here will again give you a view of 180. So it will be 180 degree plus 180 degree is equal to 360 degree. Okay, so this is servo 1, servo 2, and this is my ultrasonic sensor. So ultrasonic sensor US, that's what we call it. So we are not moving forward to making a radar which planning to actually get 360 degree servo thing. Okay, we are not moving forward with that. We are only concerned with 180 degree for now. Cool enough? You know, guys, it's like if you want to make a 360 degree radar, maybe you can do it in a homework. Let's go with the homework. No, Chetan, I don't actually mean 2 radars. I'm using one radar, but 2 different servos to actually make it move. Okay, so it's not 2 radars, it's 1 radar, but 2 servos. Yeah, we are actually making it with 1 servo. We are making with 1 servo. We are making with 1 servo. Clear. That's all. The end. Okay, so only one servo, 180 degrees. That's the final thing we are making. Okay, get everything clear, absolutely that. Only one servo and 180 degrees, that's what we will follow. Okay, so let's rub. Okay, why don't think to rub it? Let's go to a new page. I got many pages. Okay, guys, so let's plan out some specifications. Path, we are using only one servo. Don't have to worry about that. That's absolutely fine using one servo. Okay, so let's move forward a bit and let's see what all we need. So we want, okay, now let's understand how things work. So before we have always talked about a serial communication, right? So what happens in this case, what we are planning to make is, let's understand the whole design and then we'll move forward with programming. Yes, definitely, Aryan, we are going to start programming in absolutely about 5 minutes. I just want me to understand the whole thing and then we'll start with programming. Let's say we'll make the basics today and then we will try to improve on the next class. Okay, so let's understand what we need. So we need Arduino. Okay, so we need Arduino to be connected with our servo. Okay, that's what we want to make. Okay, servo will have true ultrasonic sensor, or like one ultrasonic sensor, and that ultrasonic sensor is also connected with my Arduino. Okay, that's the idea behind that. Okay, so it will move for 180 degrees. That's the plan. So this is my Arduino. Now the question is, you can easily get this thing done, but what something new you have to understand is that this is you can easily just read the whole thing in your serial monitor. Okay, so you can just write, this is my degrees. So you can just have degree something something, or then you can have your distance where you have actually found something. So how ultrasonic sensor, everyone knows us, right? So we just send the waves and we just find our, what do you call it, what's the word, distance. We find the distance of an object if it's there. In this case, however, I would say what we are doing is, so we are not moving forward with our simple basic really old technology of serial monitor. We will be making a completely different UI using processing, okay, using processing, and the processing will tell us exactly where we are. So how our UI will look, that's, let's imagine that. So if you Google how to make a radar on Google, you find many multiple ways to do it. You have one UI and everyone is using that UI. If you just Google it, you will find it. We are not moving forward with that UI. It's something poor. Okay, so that's, I don't like that UI. We will make something which is real. So we will make a UI where actually the person is rotating it, like whole thing is rotating. It's coming here, here, here. Okay, whenever it finds something, it will make a dot. Right? It will make absolutely dot, so we can have the coordinates of that. Okay, this is where the point is. We are not making something just look good. We make something which actually counts good. Am I clear with everyone now? Okay, so we're using processing to actually get data from Arduino, and the data is being presented in a way we want in the processing. Okay. No, Diksha, we are not going to do something with serial monitor. We will be using processing to access it. No serial monitor whatsoever. Processing is the game. Yes, you can do that. Absolutely, you can do that. No worries on that. Yes, you can do that. Okay, guys, so let's start today's lecture. Okay, so we're going to start with processing code and then we will move forward. Okay, so everyone should connect there. Okay, let's open the Arduino as well. Okay. Wait, Arduino is opening. It takes time to open the Arduino. It should not take time. My computer is fast, but yeah, it's fine. No worries on that side. It will open. Okay, Arduino is open. Right, so let me make a new file over here. Cool. Okay, we got the new file as well. Cool. So before that, let's start our basic programming. Okay, let's see this as well. Okay, So let's go to tools, com. We have a com6, right? In this case, just remember this thing for now, and we will go for that. Nidhi, I can actually get it done in one class, but the plan I'm going for 2 classes is actually make you understand everything from basics. So later on, radar is just a prototype, I would say, a prototype project which you plan to build. I want you to understand the things. So maybe you can come tomorrow and make, okay, this is the project we built using processing in Arduino. Radar is not the only project we are going to build. So after this radar thing, we are moving forward next with air piano. And for air piano, you need to actually understand processing from core. So that's why I'm going slow this time. But yeah, it can be done in a day. It just doesn't take more than half an hour to actually make the whole radar. But again, there's 2 different ways to get it done. One is actually to understand the things from the core and then work on it, and going to just copy the code. I will give you the code, you copy the code, paste it in, and you're good with it. So we are taking 2 classes, not one. Okay, so let's start. We got import. Okay, so import is a way actually to import a library. So we are using import. We are calling the processing inbuilt library called processing.serial.star. Okay, so okay, this processing is spelling the cool. Right, so yeah, so this is the library we are planning to use. So this is a serial library. So what exactly is serial library? If you think, serial library is a library which is used to get the serial communication from any device up to your processing software. So it's not limited to your okay, someone's saying to zoom. Okay, let me see if I can zoom it. Right, so let's go to 24. Cool. So Arun, is it cool enough? Cool. Again, this is good enough for thing. Okay, so we're using import processing.serial. We're using all the combined things which are available in serial. Move forward. Now we say serial.serial port. Okay. Anyhow, yeah. So serial is basically a data type which we are using to actually fix it. So Acrox is asking me. Okay, someone asked me something. Avoidance car. Yes, processing is one way to do it. You can also use Python to do it, but again, it's just complicated with Python and processing. It's kind of an easy thing. So I would say yes. Object avoidance, like car, would be cool with processing. That would be cool actually. Not necessary, but cool. Okay, so we have the serial. Okay, so let's say void setup. Okay, so this is what we got from here. Chetan, we are not moving forward with wireless for now. Maybe after the class gets over, or 5 minutes, I can discuss about the wireless technologies. Not right now. Sorry. No, not right now. We have to just get it done first. Okay, so we talk about void setup. Okay, so in case of void setup, what we need is we need to make what do you call it? Serial dot list. Okay, so let's understand what this function is doing. So let's make it like this. Let's call it string a is equal to this. Okay. Your s should be capital in string, or just make it like this. Print like this. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so something is wrong over here. The string last argument of the method print object does not exactly match the var error type. Okay, I can call it like this. Let's see if I can do it like this. This is my serial list. Now this works. Okay. Yes, what's Vansal? That exactly what it means. Well, we are using all the functions over here. So let me explain the whole thing and then move forward. So we are using import in this case. So import processing.serial. So we are importing all the possible libraries of the serial in the and I was what do you call it, processing. Then we're using 2 different things. We're making an object of serial which is named port. Okay, so we are saying print this serial dot list. So this serial dot list will list all the possible serial communication devices which are currently connected to my computer. So let's play it out and see how it goes. So this is my print function, which is exactly same as in Arduino. Okay, something is wrong over here. Like not something, it's too wrong. So if I go over it like this, maybe it works. I don't know. Let's see. Or it does not work like this. All right. Yeah, something is wrong in this case. Anyhow. Okay, no worries. Let me define something. Let's say for int I is equal to 0, I is less than serial dot list. Call it I plus plus. And let's call it length on this thing. I don't know if it works like this. All right. So it does not exist. All right. Let me see what does exist on this case. All right. LENGTH. Now it does not exist this as well. All right. So LENGTH length. Will this work? It does not work. Okay. So nothing is working like this. All right. So let me think of a way to get it done. So let's call it 5. Cool. Let's take 5 then. Let's say println serial dot list. Let's go with 1. Let's go with I altogether. Okay, so have you entered exactly this thing? If anyone is facing error on this scenario, just go to your tools, create an error tools. Okay, this will something will come up. Go to libraries, search for serial. We'll get this. Okay, this is not the library. I'm sure no error should come. It's coming. Maybe you did something wrong. Okay. All right. So let's take this one and let's click on play. Okay. Yeah, there's some error coming. Okay. To fix the error, let's say try. All right. So okay. Hold on a second, guys. All right. All right. So let's see what exactly I'm doing here. This is not the right way to do it. I'll let you know the right way in just a minute or so. Okay. So this is not the right way to do it. So what exactly is happening in this case is I'm using basically a for loop. Let me open my big pen. Okay. All right. So this is my big pen over here. Let's talk about this, and I will let you know the right way to do it. My mistake. I made something wrong. Okay, guys. So what happening in this case is I'm using a for loop, which is going from I is equal to 0 to I is equal to 5, like I less than 5, obviously, and we are saying to print serial dot list I. So what exactly is this? This function over here, serial dot list. This function returns your array. Okay, so print function is not defined to write actually the array. It's more defined to write a string altogether. So when we say this comma I over here, so this becomes a string. So for example, we have over here, you see, we got com1 and com6. We got 2 different things altogether. So that's the thing we need to working on. So to make it better, you just have to avoid writing everything all. Just write print array, and we call it serial dot list. Cool. So that this works fine. So just click on print. Here we got it over here. So, and we got this little small window as well. Okay, this is what we got. You can close the window. Okay, so we got COM1 as well as COM6. So now we know that we already having COM6 as my Arduino, right? We do know that because we have seen directly from our over here, right? So using Arduino, so we do know that. So just keep it like that. Okay, so let's move forward a bit. Let's keep exactly the way it is. We don't have to worry about this part for now. So let's connect to the port. So let's say port is equal to new serial. Okay, this comma, let's say serial dot list. Okay, we are going to select 1 because that's where COM6 is over here. When we move forward with 9600 baud rate. So let's talk about this. Yeah, I was planning to do it, but again, that's fine. You don't have to do it. Just write this code. It works fine. My bad. Like I was planning to do something else, but that's fine. Let's move forward with this one. Okay, so let's see this one for now. Let's understand this thing altogether. So, okay, so this is the port. First of all, okay, so this is an object which already been created. So this and this is same. So this is basically a global object, I would say. Global. Okay, let me make it. Cool. So this what new over here is. New is actually sorry. I'm so sorry. New is actually used to make a new object. Okay, so we are using new, which is defined to make a new object. So we are saying new serial. Now serial is basically a constructor. Those who know what constructor is, that's fine. Constructor. Okay, so let's ignore the constructor for now. But let's say serial object. So this is the object serial, right? So port is one serial object. We are saying to assign the value of serial object to so what exactly happened in this case? Something like this. Let's say int a, and a is equal to 5. Okay, so this is exactly what's happening. Int a in this case is this. Okay, and this is 5 is equal to 5 apart. Okay, so this exactly is what's happening in whole scenario. So we are saying new serial. This is just use this for now. We are not going to depth exactly why this is used, but this is basically used to make, okay, this is the function we're talking about. That let's just say this for now. We're not going in depth why this is used. So we got serial.list. Okay, serial.list we already know over here present this thing. Okay, so we have to connect with COM6, right? So that's why we're using 1 over here. So for example, it would be 2 COM6 over here. So we will be using that as well, whatever it's required. And 9600 is your baud rate. Everyone already know that. So someone is asking me about. Sure, I can. Let me explain that again. What's to you? So we got something like this over here, right? So it's print array serial.list, which means is basically we need to print an array. When we need to print an array, so serial.list returns an array. Okay, so every function returns something, right? We already discussed about that. If not, I'm going to tell you right now. So I guess we have discussed about that. So this is void. So this function doesn't return anything. Serial.list is a function which actually returns an array, right? So simple print function cannot be used, right? So we are using print array function to actually print the array. Am I clear, and did everyone understood the whole concept up till here? Right? I'm hoping everyone did understood everything, because these things we have used before, but we used to do it with help of Arduino. Right? This is the first time we are using a processing. We were doing exactly same thing, but that was being doing when we're actually using Arduino monitor, right? So CL monitor. So this is first time we're actually making our own CL monitor kind of a thing. So did everyone understand what we're trying to do over here? If yes, just write in the comment section. Yes, so we are able to get that. Okay, please write yes if you. Cool. So everyone did understood that. Okay, now let's moving forward. Okay, so we make the list, we make a new port which is connected to our serial list 1, right? Uh, Yashvi, I got 2 different ports, but you got only one, so use the COM3 one, okay? This should not come as an error. Okay, okay, first 2 lines is simple, it's nothing much I'm doing over here. Just importing a simple library and assigning a value to something, that's all. Because we were like making a port variable, that's all we are doing, so nothing much. That's all we are doing over here. So moving forward now. So let's move forward a bit so we don't let's move forward now. Okay. So let's say void draw. So this is something which we run only once. The other part we runs only once. Now something over here we need to run multiple times. Okay. So we say over here if uh, this side is showing the method requires a body instead of a semicolon. Nidya, you might be doing something wrong. If you write exactly same code, nothing is going to go wrong because this code it works. If it's working for me, it will work for you. If something is wrong, just check the code again. Yes, if you got one port, you have to use that port, obviously. Yes, because I got multiple cameras and let me clear this out with you guys. So I'm using one because that's where my COM6 is. Okay, I know my Arduino over here. I can see that I got port 6 as my COM6, right? So that's why I'm using one over here because that's where my COM6 is, right? So right over here. But in your case, you might not have 2 ports. I got multiple monitor, because camera and gaming console connected to my PC. So that's why I got 2 ports. Some other port is coming up. I have actually hidden all the ports just for the lecture, but might be one port I'm not able to hide. So that's the reason I got 2 ports over here. So it is fine. You got to do 1 port and connect with 0. If you got 1 port, just write 0. But in my case, I have to write 1 because I got multiple things connected. I think that should be clear with you guys. Okay, now moving forward, we say if 0 is less than ports, like if it's port dot available, let's call it available. Mm. So we say over here is if there is a data import dot available. Okay, that's what we're moving forward with. If there is a data import dot available, so what we have to do is we have to write a data and a value. So let's add another global variable. Let's call it string s. Okay, or let's call it distance because we are planning to use our ultrasonic sensor this time. So let's call it distance. All right, so let's say dist is equal to port dot read string. We can just say port dot read. That's one way to do it. But we are going to say port dot read string until. So what exactly is happening in this case is we're asking the system to read the strings until what we get this. Okay, so let's understand this thing first and then move forward. So we will write a code in Arduino in such a way that the output comes up in form of dist hash, and this hash will actually tell us, okay, the things have ended. So what we are saying over here is dist port dot read string until hash. Right now it doesn't make sense for you to actually go forward with this thing, but trust me, it actually beneficial when we are working with our radar. So that's why we are using this function, read string until. Okay, right now it might not make sense to you. That's absolutely fine, but it will when we talk about a lot of things. So that's why we're using this function over here. Okay, so we say this is equal to port dot read string until hash comes up. Hash. So moving forward. So there's one more thing I would like to tell everyone is that there's a possibility that when data is being read through serial monitor, you might have already seen that in many times, for example, data is coming 31.2, 32.6, and sometime it comes out to be null. It does happen multiple times, null or something or the other. It does comes weird things. Okay, someone got come out. What's no, it doesn't, it does not mean like that. It's exactly the same thing. It's just that we will write a code in Arduino which will give us the hash. Fine, it's not the same, it's different. Hash here means hash in Arduino, backslash n here means backslash n in Arduino. It's both the same things, so we're not moving forward that. Okay, it's one of the same thing. So we say dist. So the value does comes in this. So we say try. So why we are using try over here, I will tell you that. We're also using catch. Okay, I will just explain you what try catch is in a minute. Okay, so why we are using try catch here for now? Okay, so what happens is if something goes wrong. Okay, so this try catch is basically used when we are writing a code, we are making a program, altogether, and there's an error in the program. It does happens because when we are taking a dist as a string, we want to convert it into something, we want to change something, and that's not possible in runtime. For example, let's say we want I is equal to 2 and j is equal to 1. And we write a program where we take input from the user which gives j is equal to 0. In the next step, somehow we have done I divided by j, right? So what happens in that case is 2 divided by 0, which is not possible. So computer will throw errors, which is called a runtime error. So what is a runtime error? Something which happen to have when the function is running or something is going at that moment. So to actually handle the whole runtime error, we write try and catch. So whatever is there in try is something like, okay, this is the try thing, we move forward on. So we got try and catch. So try this, if it's possible, cool. If it's not possible, go to exception E, basically throw an error. So it throws an error. So for example, we say try, it throws an error. Error is catch by my catch function. Okay, that's how it works. So we are saying try. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to say over here, okay, let's make one more variable before moving forward. Let's make float. Let's make a float. Float sounds good to me. So let's make a full float called val. Okay, so let's say over here, val is equal to dist. First of all, dist dot split. All right, let's like 0. Why split is wrong? I have not to split should be right. Why it's wrong? What happened? Okay, can put no on that side. So let's like this. Alright, so yeah. Alright, so let's write float. So I guess, okay, so I guess that's everyone did understand this thing. It's kind of a simple. So what I'm doing is basically using dist. Now I'm splitting the dist. So for example, I get someone is asking me to show the buff part as well. Okay, I think this works for you guys. Okay, so over here, as you can see, what I'm doing is it's going way slower than I was expecting. I thought we will move faster than this, but I think it's a lot of things have to be explained to you guys. So okay, so we are saying float this split. In the case of split, what we're saying is, so for example, we got value 30.0 hash, right? So this split function will divide the whole thing into two because this one hash. If there would be something more, it would divide it into like two. In this case, it would be divided into only just one. That's all. This is one hash. So we will have an array which will have 30.0. That's all. So that's the whole array we got. So we say 0. So this is 0. We got 1 over here. If we did, so for example, if something like this would be there, 70.0. Okay, so that would be 1. So we could have just return 0 over here, maybe 1, whatever we want to. In that case, the out, like if we got the string 30 point hash 70.0. So we will get this when we'll talk about radar. So right now we just got 1. So we say this is the value we get. Right. So we say this split hash. It splits the whole thing into array. We got this thing over here, and we say 0. Okay. So that's how we got the value of val with us. So we got the val, we got everything with us. So let's move forward now. Okay. All right. So we got the port. If we got the port, everything will go like that. So let's move a bit faster now and just write the code. So let's say if the value of val. Okay. So if val is greater than 30. So let's fix the whole thing for 30. So we say val is equal to 30. Question is why we're doing this is because we are just saying this is the limit what we are going forward. So we are having a limit. Okay, this is the limit of radar or whatever things we are moving forward. So if val is greater than 30, we set it to 30. First of all, that's important for you guys to understand. Now there's one more thing I'd like to tell you. Hash doesn't need much thing right off now, but it will after some time. Okay. Where do you think Harshad should be equal to instead of equal to? I don't know. I don't know how should we want to say. So we are making a temporary variable. We say float temp is equal to. Okay, so now I'm using a function called map. So this is something you might guys are not aware of already. If you guys are, then school. If you're not, I'll explain it to you. We say it from 2 to 30, comma. Let's go with 100 to 700. All right, so this is the function we got. So we make a rectangle which sets to be temp, comma. Let's make it with 300, 100, 100. Right, so everyone is already aware of this triangle, right? So let's fill the color of this triangle. Right, so let's call it with what 123, comma 5, comma. Now 182 sounds good. Alright, so let's have a background as well. So let's have background as well. Let's say background 0. Sounds good. Okay, so do you guys already know what map or not? If you don't, let me explain. Like I'm hoping you guys don't. Like that's what I envision. You don't know what map. So let's talk about this map thing over here. Let me talk about this over here. Much better. So we have this map function. So first of all, what map is used for? We already are aware of things that my Arduino, my ultrasonic sensor give me values from 2 to 30, right? That's what values I have. I'm using a map thing. Okay, so we got values from 2 to 30, but in my case, the screen has a length of something like this. So it's got from 0 to 900. Okay, but value of just my, what do you call it? Ultrasonic sensor is just 230, but I need value from 0 to 900, right? So in that case, we use map to fix the whole issue. So let's understand the map first. So how map works is, for example, I get a value of, okay, so let's forget this part for now. Okay, we will talk about this in a while. Just forget this for now. Okay, so let's say I have a value of 1 to 10, but I need that value to be used in case of 0 to 100. Right, so someone got error. Okay, maybe you have not used a float in the above case, that's why it's showing an error. Maybe you have declared val as a string. Please fix that part. Okay, so let's say we got 1 to 10, we got 0 to 100. So we are getting an input of this, but we want output of this, right? So what we exactly do is we say in this case कि okay 1 का मतलब ना आज से 0 है, ठीक है, या इसको 1 कर देते हैं, ठीक है, तो 1 का मतलब तो 1 हो गया. So we say 2 का मतलब ना let's call it 10 to, like let's call it 10 to 100, okay, instead of like this, ताकि समझाने मुझे आसानी हो. Okay, so let's take it like this. Let's get 10 to 100. All right, so let's say 1 का मतलब 10 हो गया, 2 का मतलब 20 हो गया और 3 का मतलब 30 हो गया. Okay guys, so that's the one thing. 1 का मतलब 10, 2 का मतलब 20, 3 का मतलब 30. क्यों? क्योंकि हमने इनपुट क्या दिया था 1 से 10 के बीच में, और आउटपुट चाहिए था 10 से 100 के बीच में. अगर मेरे पास इनपुट 1.1 आएगा तो क्या होगा? 1.1 into 10 which is equal to 11, right? So 1.1 का क्या हो जाएगा मेरा? 11 हो जाएगा. 2.3 का क्या हो जाएगा मेरा? Any guesses? 23 हो जाएगा. So this is what map actually means. So map फंक्शन कैसे काम करता है? हम बोलते हैं map, हम बोलते हैं मेरे पास ये इनपुट है, ठीक है. सो मेरे पास इनपुट है एग्जांपल y, या x इनपुट है मेरे पास, और मैं चाहता हूं इस x इनपुट का जो स्केल है, जो मैं बात कर रहा था ना 1 से 10 के बीच में, तो यहाँ पे मैं उसको बोलूंगा स्केल. तो मैं बोलूंगा इसको कि भाई मेरा जो इनपुट का स्टार्टिंग है उसको हम बोलेंगे स्टार्टिंग, ये इनपुट की स्टार्टिंग है, और इसको हम बोलेंगे एंडिंग, ठीक है. तो ये मेरी इनपुट की स्टार्टिंग और एंडिंग है, ठीक है. लेट्स से ये मेरा इनपुट का स्केल है, ये मेरा इनपुट है, ओके. और उसके बाद ये मेरा स्टार्टिंग है और ये मेरी एंडिंग है किसकी? आउटपुट की, ठीक है. सबको ये वाली बात समझ आ गई? तो अगर मैं यहाँ पे बोलूंगा x की वैल्यू कितनी है मेरी? 1.1, 1.2, और यहाँ मेरा 1 है, यहाँ 10 है, यहाँ 10 है और यहाँ 100 है, तो क्या होगा? 1.2 का वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगी मेरी? ऑटोमेटिकली 12 हो जाएगी, राइट? सो या तो खुद भी कोड लिख सकते हो, यू कैन एक्चुअली डू ऑल द मैथमेटिक्स, राइट योर ओन कोड टू गेट ऑल दिस थिंग्स लाइक फिक्स्ड. यू कैन डू दैट ऑन योर ओन, बट हम ऐसा नहीं कर रहे. हम एक मैप का इनबिल्ट फंक्शन लिखा हुआ है उसको यूज कर रहे हैं. अगर मैं पिक्चर के हिसाब से बस समझाने की कोशिश करूं तो क्या हो रहा है, ऐसे समझो. 1 2 3 4 5 10 20 30 40 50, right? This is what we got. तो यहाँ पे मेरा क्या आ जाएगा? 1.1, तो ऑटोमेटिकली 11 हो गया. सो या तो मैं खुद प्रोग्राम लिखूं, बट इतना सिंपल नहीं है. क्यों? क्योंकि हमारे पास ये नहीं है. हमारे पास क्या है? 2 से लेकर 30, और मुझको आउटपुट किसमें चाहिए? मुझे आउटपुट चाहिए लेट्स से 100 से 900, like 700, right? So it is not that simple to do. It's not a simple mathematics. Yeah, it's actually simple mathematics. बहुत simple है. 200 से करा सिंगल वैल्यू निकाल ली, but we are not doing it like that. Okay, हम क्यों इतना मेहनत करें? किसी ने ऑलरेडी फंक्शन लिखा तो हुआ है, मैप. ओके, सो ये मेरा मैप फंक्शन है. इसके पैरामीटर्स एक बार डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. किसी ने मुझसे पूछा है, ऑलरेडी मैं बता चुका हूं, बट स्टिल बता रहा हूं क्योंकि किसी ने पूछ लिया. ओके, सो मैप के पैरामीटर्स क्या है? ये होगा मेरा इनपुट, ओके, ये मेरे स्केल होगा. ओके, मैं गलत कर गया, एक स्केल और यहाँ पे आएगा, ठीक है ना, उसको मैं ऐड कर देता हूँ अभी. इसको हटाते हैं. सो इस केस में ये मेरा आउटपुट का स्केल है, ये मेरा इनपुट का स्केल है, और ये मेरी वैल्यू जो एक्चुअली इसके अंदर जा रही है, ठीक है. तो ये मेरा पूरा ही पूरा क्या हो गया? ठीक है गाइस, अब आगे बढ़ते हैं थोड़ा. सो वी गॉट 10 एंड एवरीथिंग. इसको सेव कर लेते हैं. छोटी सी दिक्कत और हो गई, आई गेस हमें साइज नहीं डिफाइन करा, माय बैड. सो लेट्स कॉल इट साइज. हम क्या डिफाइन कर रहे हैं? मुझे पसंद है, लेट्स गो विद 800 क्रॉस 800. इसको स्टार्ट करते हैं. वी गॉट दिस राइट ओवर हियर. ओके डिस्क की वैल्यू स्टार्टिंग में कुछ डिफाइन कर देते हैं. लेट्स गो विद 30. ये 30 से स्टार्ट कर देते हैं इसको. ऑलराइट सो वी गॉट समथिंग ओवर हियर. वैल्यू की वैल्यू भी हम क्या 30 कर देते हैं और टाइम भी ना. सॉरी. ऑलराइट सिर्फ ब्लैंक स्क्रीन आ रही है अभी. ऑलराइट सो ठीक है. और देखते हैं इसको. आई गेस दैट्स फाइन फॉर नाउ. कि कोड कुछ अवेलेबल होगा तो आ जाएगा. ठीक है वरना यहाँ से आ ही रहा है सब कुछ. ओके हमने इसको अभी मैप कर दिया. ठीक है गाइस. सो अब हम कोड करेंगे क्या आर्डिनो को ताकि वैल्यू आ पाए. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट आर्डिनो नाउ. where is my Arduino? Yeah, cool. Okay गाइस आर्डिनो कोड करते हैं. एक सेकंड रुकना. ऑलराइट okay so let's start our Arduino code. Yeah so let's cost int. ये सबको ऑलरेडी पता है तो मैं फास्ट जा रहा हूँ थोड़ा. ठीक है ना. ऑलरेडी सबको पता है इसके बारे में. we say again const int echo pin. pin जाते हैं. ठीक है मुझे पसंद नहीं सुन हटा देता हूँ हमेशा. उसको पता है वाली बात तो ऑलरेडी. okay so let's say पिन मोड. सबको पता है पिन मोड करना है. जो हमारी ट्रिक वाली पिन है उसको क्या करना है आउटपुट करना है और फिर मुझे जाना है पिन मोड. एको वाली पिन को मुझे इनपुट करना. ठीक है फ्लोट करेंगे हम क्या. लेट्स गो विद टाइम. नहीं ड्यूरेशन जाते हैं एक और डिस्टेंस जाते हैं. okay so प्रोग्रामिंग कोड कौन सा उज्जवल. एरर्स कौन से आ रहे हैं. एरर्स तो नहीं आ रहे कोई. कुछ गलत करा होगा. देख लेंगे अभी 2 मिनट रुको. इसके बाद देखते हैं. ठीक है ना. सो पिन मोड हो गया. लेट्स कॉल इट विद सीरियल और बिगिन. ऑलराइट लेट्स कॉल इट विद 9600 फॉर नाउ. ठीक है ये सबको ऑलरेडी पता ही है. आगे बढ़ते हैं थोड़ा सा. डिजिटल राइट. लेट्स कॉल इट डिजिटल राइट. ट्रिक पिन लो. सबको पता है इसके बारे में ऑलरेडी. डिले माइक्रो सेकंड. spelling of delay I guess microseconds. Cool. So let's go with 2 digital right frequent I delay microseconds and digital right. So you have written trick pin, not trick pin. Sorry. क्या गलत लिखा है. मैंने सही तो लिखा. सही तो लिखना. I don't know. Okay, trick pin low. All right. Okay, so let's call it duration. जो already depend किया था ऊपर is equal to pulse and pin high, right? So we call it distance is equal to duration multiplied by 0.0323 divided by 2. That's what we write. We call it serial dot print. Okay. We call it distance. Okay. Call it serial dot println hash. Cool. Okay, Chetan. एक्चुअली मुझे लगा तुमको सब कुछ ऑलरेडी पता है, तो मैं थोड़ा सा फास्ट जाने लगा कि ठीक है तुम्हें सब कुछ पता ही तो है, इसको मतलब बार बार क्या बताऊं वही सेम चीज, इसलिए मैं थोड़ा फास्ट हो गया था गाइस। ठीक है, मतलब दैट्स द ओनली रीजन। ओके, मैंने छोटा सा सेटअप भी कर लिया, वो भी दिखा देता हूं एक बार जल्दी से। Alright guys, let's fix this thing. Okay, so as you can see बहुत सिंपल काम कर रहा है, वही जो हम पहले कर चुके हैं, बार बार कर रहे हैं, वही चीज बार बार कर रहे हैं और अभी वही कर रहे हैं। बहुत सिंपल गेम है, कुछ नहीं करना। रेड कलर का जो मेरा है जो यहाँ जा रहा है, ये मेरा ग्राउंड है, यहाँ से मैंने ग्राउंड लिया है, राइट, ये ग्राउंड लिया मैंने, ये मैंने वीसीसी लिया है, यहाँ पे 9 और 10 लिए हैं जो कि ट्रिगर और एको पिन्स हैं। मैंने कुछ खास चेंज नहीं करा, दैट्स ऑल कर रहा हूँ, वही अभी कर रहा हूँ। ओके, सो एक बार हम देखते हैं सील मॉनिटर में आउटपुट क्या आ रहा है। ओके, सो आई गॉट द वैल्यूज आ रही हैं, राइट। सो उसको थोड़ा ऐसे रखते हैं ताकि वैल्यूज समझ आए अपने को जो आ रही है। फिर हम कुछ यूज करते हैं इसके लिए बढ़िया सा, लेट्स यूज, got this bookmark with me, let's use this for the now. Okay, we got 2, we got 9, we got 15 and 20, right, 20 तक तो सही आ रहा है मतलब, ठीक है ना। सो ये काम कर रहा है, ठीक है। साथ में हमने हैश प्रिंट करा हुआ है, सबने वो देख ही लिया होगा ऑलरेडी कि हम हैश अलग से प्रिंट कर रहे हैं, तो वो हो गया, ठीक है। अब प्रोसेसिंग पे आते हैं फिर से और इसको रन करते हैं। ओके, उसमें कुछ भी नहीं आया, क्वेश्चन इधर कुछ क्यों नहीं आया, सो अगर हटा दूं तो ओके, ऑलराइट, कुछ तो मेरे पास आ गया, ठीक है। तो एक तो यहाँ पे बैकग्राउंड नहीं लिखना, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बैकग्राउंड स्टार्टिंग में लिखेंगे हम, ठीक है ना। बैकग्राउंड लेट्स कॉल इट टू 0, 0 मतलब ब्लैक, ठीक है ना। सो बैकग्राउंड स्टार्टिंग में लिखना है, लास्ट में लिखना मेरी गलती, लास्ट में लिख दिया मैंने। उसको प्ले करते हैं और मेरे पास ये आ गया, ठीक है ना। अब मैं इसको आगे पास लेके जाऊंगा, तो ये पास आ रहा है, दूर दूर जा रहा है, पास दूर पास, cool ना, that's kind of a cool, you can actually interact your 3D, like your physical world with your virtual world, isn't that cool? You can make game like this, ना cool से game बन सकती है इससे। Maybe you can make a game something sort of things कि टेबल टेनिस बना दिया कि रियल वर्ल्ड में खेल रहे हो, वर्चुअल में उसको सिमुलेट कर पा रहे हैं, how cool that would be, right? So this is kind of a cool thing. Let me know in the comments if you think it's cool. I think it's cool. It's kind of fun to play with. Zoom 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 zoom. It's cool for me. Like I find it cool. It's not cool सा है मतलब ये तो। Okay guys, so that's the idea behind this thing. Okay, तो ये तो मतलब cool so हो गया। Okay guys, so I guess everyone did understood this simple code and basics of how serial communication works without processing. I think that's really important for you to understand. And I would say that's all for today. You can use these things to actually make anything you want to. I got a couple of more things in my mind to actually teach you today, but there's a time constraint of 1 hour, so I think that's all up. So we'll talk about next thing in the next classes. So I guess that's all for today. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching Coding Log Junior. Now I would like to take the answers if anyone got it. Okay, उज्जवल को प्रोसेसिंग का कोड देखना है। चुके उज्जवल, ये प्रोसेसिंग का कोड है, आप देख सकते हो। इसको मैं थोड़ा छोटा करने की कोशिश करूं, तो उज्जवल ये प्रोसेसिंग का कोड है, आप इसको आराम से देख लो। ऑलराइट, सो ये मेरा ड्रॉ का पार्ट है छोटा सा। Oh, Jayant, you're so late. Class is almost over. Like it's over. Okay, I will give you the source code, and I will just send it to you in the group right now. Okay, guys. So I think that's ये पूरा कोड है जिसको देखने आराम से कॉपी कर सकता है। इतना ही कोड है, ज्यादा नहीं है, ठीक है। वीडियो पॉज करके बाद में कोड कॉपी कर लेना, वरना भेज दूंगा ग्रुप पे, ठीक है। So I think that's all for today. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Let's have a drum roll and exit the today's class. Alexa, drum roll, please.
Okay.